Get in and enjoy the ride.
Woo! Man, that was awesome.
Ice. Of the top 10 most attended sporting events in the world, 8 are NASCAR Winston Cup races. And only at a race does a fan put a blue tarp over the back of a pickup truck and call it a camper. That leaves some to ask the question why, and Winston Kelly is with a man who just may soon have that answer. Winston?
Well, we hope so. We're joined by James Todd, who's an anthropologist who's doing a study on NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Tell us a little bit about how this project came about.
Well, you know, I actually did 7 years worth of work in Mexico, so this is a very, very different project. Someone sent me a NASCAR Barbie about a year ago, and actually it was 2 years ago, and I got it and I said, what is going on with this? There's all kinds of licensing. It was the Bill Elliott one. And I said, there's a world out there that I don't know about, and I've got to go and investigate. So I decided to do my research in the U.S. for the next 5 years.
What have you found so far? What are some of the surprises and things that maybe didn't surprise you?
Well, I think that one of the biggest things about NASCAR, that if you haven't been, it's the sheer scale of the sport and how much goes into putting this. This is beyond even a Super Bowl. You got 43 teams, you've got 150 people on some teams, and it's just so massive. And the ephemeral experience of it with the sight, the sound, the smell, really attracts a lot of people. So there's a lot about desire, fantasy, and other things that are going on through people's minds when they come.
Now, you've been doing some research in the garage area. John was just talking to us a little bit about some of the fan interaction, putting a tarp up and calling it a tent. Have you done a lot of research with the fans, and what have you found there?
I spent every weekend with the fans. I got a 1987 Allegro. It's chocolate brown and cream, so it's kind of a rolling beanbag, but it blends in like furniture out there. And I spend every weekend, I'll park usually Thursday to Sunday, and stay with them and get their kind of personal histories, their affinities with the sport. So that's mainly my focus. And then I also spend a lot of time in the garage area with the drivers, the marketers, the PR people. So it's kind of looking at the whole spectacle of NASCAR and how it gets made.
Well, he's a Ph.D. candidate, and if he ever gets that Ph.D., maybe he'll graduate to where he can do a study on the guys on NASCAR this morning. Now, that would be a real project.
Yeah, you got that right. I'll tell you what, James, I got to ask you a question. NASCAR is part of the Southern culture. As NASCAR has grown, a little bit of the Southern culture has expanded as well. Do you see any interaction between, say, people from other parts of the country as they adapt to the Southern culture? Do they get involved in it?
Well, I think that that's the truth, and you know, NASCAR is that story about the Southern regional march sport that's gone across the nation. It's going to Chicago, it's going to California, it's going to Phoenix. So that's also what I'm investigating is how is Southern culture shaped in different locations, and how do people understand the sport through this kind of lens of Southernness?
Hey, James, how does somebody like you afford the time and the cost of traveling with this circuit? Are you finding that a little bit of a burden?
It has been quite a burden. I actually spent $9,000 on parking this year, so I got a $30,000 grant. Actually, it was split into 2 different places. Wenner Gren Foundation, which I really have to thank, gave me $20,000, and then another group of people gave me $10,000. So $30,000 hasn't gone very far, and I'll be out of it probably by the end of July, but I'm going to stick on. Use my student loans.
All right, well, James, good luck with everything, and thanks for stopping by and talking with us this morning.
Absolutely. You guys take care. Thanks.
Okay, when we come back,